So this word here, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it before like the 2-minute mark, but um stupid maxing or clown maxing, different synonyms for this term, right? We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna go over this Huberman clip. I thought it was hilarious, dude. It's so funny because these guys, they don't really understand. It seems funny to them because they're not like incel bros, right? They've probably like never been incel bros. So it's like, yeah, they're gonna like laugh at the term or whatnot. But I wanna say that this might be the closest thing to game and actually the closest thing to really attracting women that you can do. We're gonna talk about it in this video. Scroll down, subscribe if you like tips like this. Just because you're not gonna find this content anywhere else on the internet with my unique perspective. So, I've already been walking for 30 minutes, but kind of out of breath, but I'll adjust the speed here. Let's watch this clip here for a second.
Yes.
Do you
Let me answer that the way I think you intended it. Yes, I am personally offended.
Wait, do you wake up and are you like
He basically just asked him what he thinks about the movement. I'll be able to say this word in a couple of minutes. The thing is, the reason why you should subscribe is because unless you have 1,000 followers or 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, YouTube doesn't tell you which terms are not allowed and which ones are allowed. So it's actually, funny enough, it's actually harder for new people to grow on YouTube, especially in this field. That's why everyone sounds so milquetoast about this shit. Because like, if you say this word in the first like 2 minutes, your video might get like shadowed without actually YouTube telling you, right? That's kind of the crux of like, I don't know, censorship in general, if you want to say. When really we're just trying to help dudes, right?
I'm retard maxing today? Like, is that what you
Subscribe.
think? What is retard maxing?
All right,
dude.
all right.
There you go.
It's awesome.
Well, I guess I can say it now.
No, I actually.
What is this? I heard of Looksmaxxing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so here's the funny thing, man. In 2026, why do we need to have terms for? It's interesting. This is how you know all this stuff comes from the incel movement. Because they like to put labels and term things in a very specific way for their logical brains to understand. Like, and it's almost like a video game. It's like they're using these terms. But here's the other funny thing about this, right? This is the same kind of behavior that turns women off too, right? So like, whoever comes up with these terms, you are your own worst enemy, right? For us men, though, this is funny as shit, right? Like it is.
There's Looksmaxxing, then there's a guy who does what's called retardmaxing, which was popularized
Because it's so funny. It's so
by
funny,
all
dude.
people.
It's so funny because Huberman is the guy that says it with such a straight face, dude. This is pure comedy.
Was popularized by, of all people, Mark
pure
Andreessen,
comedy,
who's
dude.
easily one of
Dude, when I saw this clip, I was laughing my ass off, bro.
the smartest people I've ever met. Know Mark real well. He's a big fan of retardmaxing. Retardmaxing is this guy on the internet who, what you want to explain?
Oh, I'm loving
Yeah,
that.
It's
It's
So you know, with all the stuff
funny.
about get up in the morning and do this and do that, and
Don't
when,
be
when you
retarded.
have a problem, or all the kind of stuff that Chris covered.
We're going to cover exactly what this is. Don't worry. And I'm going to tell you exactly the frame that it's coming from. Why it's so important that every man actually adopt this frame, okay?
Like about emerging dynamics of male-female relationships and self-perception and philosophy, and he interviews like real things.
So what he just said is, in 2026, men have a gross, and I implore you to think about this, which is funny, ironically, they have a gross tendency to overthink every little detail. Every single one, dude. Like, I've personally experienced this as being an online creator. Bro, shut your brain off. Just stop, dude. I don't know. I don't know if this is actually genetic or if we were conditioned to be this way. But holy shit, dude. Like 99% of game, or like 99% of social interaction in general between humans is just turning your fucking brain off, dude. And for some reason, guys cannot do this. So now, we have a word called retardmaxing to identify basically being present to the moment, turning your brain off, meditation, not thinking. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do we really need a term for this? It's a funny term, though.
Thinkers, and they have British accents and that kind of thing. This guy sits in his backyard, is basically a farm, and he does this thing that he calls retardmaxing, which is where you basically just don't think about shit at all.
So okay. Now, there is a deeper level to retardmaxing that I'll get into in a second. But for now, layer one, just think about this, or don't think about this. Layer one of I guess I probably should stop saying it. Retardmaxing is just stop thinking. Stop thinking, turn your brain off, okay?
You just do what needs to be done. If something bothers you, you just ignore it.
Wait, is this the CEO that is like,
Came on the David Senra podcast, which is the guy who also does the Founders podcast. David Senra podcast, incidentally, put out by SciComm. We loved the Founders
Shout out
podcast.
Senra, friend
so
of
we
the show.
brought Senra over, and he brought Mark Andreessen on. And Mark Andreessen said, he used the words, these are not my words. He said, great men of history did not sit around thinking about their
Okay,
thoughts and introspecting, you know, like introspection
yeah, they didn't think.
is not what we need to be doing. We need more action, less introspection.
yeah.
Actually, Dana White kind of doubled down
I've
on
watched
this.
Right, okay, so that's basically the gist of it. Now, okay, let's actually, because they're rambling on here a little bit, but let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of this video now.
So the Mark Andreessen thing mobilized a big discussion online, on X in particular. One sort of angle of attack that he opened was, all right, here's a billionaire who does.
Okay, never mind. All right, so they just kind of rambled on a little bit. Okay, so retardmaxing. Let's go over layer by layer what this is, okay? Actionable, real advice. Layer one, you got to stop thinking so much, man. When you are, okay, the best example of this is when you want to approach a woman, right? First thing, what do 99% of men actually do when they approach a woman? They overthink, right? They like, I know you've done this if you're watching this video. Okay, I know you've done this. Because I've done it too. That's why this content is so relatable to so many guys, because we've all been there, right? That's why the younger folks, you guys learn from us older folks, right? So you can bypass some of these steps and learn faster. So when you're approaching a girl, you're like scanning the entire environment. You're like, are those people with her? Is that her friend? If it's a guy, is it a boyfriend? That one's actually kind of legit. You got to be careful with that one. But it's like, is she shopping? What's she doing? She seems like she's in a rush. And basically what you just did is you overthought yourself out of approaching or saying hi, right? Now, the reason why we do this is it's a safety mechanism. We actually did evolve this way. We evolved not to stand out in order to not get hurt. Not emotionally hurt, like physically hurt, right? Because if we stand out and everyone looks at us, now we're in danger, right? So approaching a woman triggers and activates that exact same mechanism. Now, when are you gonna get the best results? Here's the other thing too. From the female's perspective on this, by the time you've noticed that female, she's already noticed you like 10 minutes ago. Well, not 10 minutes, but like, let's say you walked into the same grocery aisle at the store. By the time you've noticed her like, because they have like stage 5 red alert danger perception, right? So women at all times are scanning their environments like 100 times faster than men are. So by the time you notice her, she's already noticed you. Now, if you notice her and you find her attractive, she already knows that you do because you're already on her radar, right? Now, her brain in that moment is going to do a calculation and your brain is going to do a calculation. They're both at the exact same time. She's going to calculate how many seconds or milliseconds. It's all subconscious, by the way. This isn't conscious thought. But she's going to calculate how many milliseconds or seconds it took you to walk over and say hi. What is that mechanism? That mechanism is the less time it took you to go and say hi, the more alpha male you are. In like direct proportion. When I say alpha male, I mean like confident, knows what he wants, not fearful. And then what's the underlying, back to the retardmaxing thing, what is the underlying frame there? So like, you would think like a nice gentleman type guy would be like, a nice gentleman type guy. He would like, oh, she's buying groceries. She's in the middle of something. It's inappropriate to go say hi. I don't want to disturb her day. You think you're being nice. You know what I'm saying? What's the number one complaint women have in 2026? Men don't say hi and approach anymore, right? So here's the thing. The retard, he's like, herp-a-derp. You know, have you ever noticed that the dumbest guys are the ones that get the most action? There you go. This is exactly why, right? They're like, he's like, herp-a-derp, pretty girl. I go say hi. I think like a caveman, right? And he goes, like, snap of the fingers. He goes, beelines it straight for that woman within milliseconds of seeing her, right? Her brain, what her brain actually thinks is not so much like he's an alpha male. What her brain calculated was this man is not afraid to be looked at by everybody. This man is not afraid to put himself out there to be in danger. That's the attraction mechanism. That's the attraction trigger, right? So like the derpy retard max dude, he just beelines it to her and he says hi. And the whole store is, let's say the whole store is looking at him now. He doesn't care. He just makes eye contact with her because he knows what he wants. He's going for it. And he could be cracking jokes and all this stuff. And he creates this universal bubble around him and the female to where they're ignoring the outside world now. And that is probably one of the highest attraction things you can do for a woman, right? That's what they're talking about here. And basically, the more you stand there and think, the more her attraction for you subconsciously starts going down before you've even approached. That's the crazy thing, brother. You can't, like, this is like the realest shit, right? You have to not think and approach immediately. We'll get into layer 2 in a second.
Doesn't like
here.
introspection, and
And now he's retarded.
now it says just handle your business, do what you need to do. Then
See, handle your business, do what you need to do. Don't think.
Some momentum. I think the point Daniel was trying to make was that men's mental health, while critical, right? Suicide rates are way up. Like we all acknowledge that. He made a very good point, which is oftentimes getting into action and doing things.
But what they're trying to do here with this whole movement or the whole retardmaxing thing, basically they're trying to, whoever made up this word, they're trying to make a play on like Looksmaxxing and all these other maxing words. And the reason why he's doing is very clever because he's speaking the language of the incels, and he's saying, turn your incel brain off if you want to get success and results. Just stop that shit. It's like it's a memey, intelligent way to get through to all these guys, right? Now, let's go layer 2 on this, I should stop saying, on this retard maxing thing, right? Layer 2. So you know layer 1 is stop thinking. Layer 2 is kind of like just be yourself. And like, this is all just a giant synonym of just being in the moment and not worrying about it. Now, you gotta be careful because like a lot of men will confuse retard maxing with dancing monkey. Because dancing monkey was like back in the day. Back in the day when you'd go to club, this is kind of a thing, where like, when you go to a club, just in general, the music is very loud and it's like hard to get a girl's attention because those environments are designed to like grab your attention at all costs, right? So back in the day, dancing monkey game was like, it's what it sounds like. You're like a dancing monkey and you're like snapping your fingers in their face and you're like making the dumbest jokes ever. And you basically have to perform and put on a show for the girl in order to keep her attention. It's actually not game, it doesn't work. But that's what it was back then. So a lot of guys will think that like this means, oh, I should just be a dancing monkey then. So do I have to put on a show every time I hang out with a girl? Do I have to entertain her all the time? Do I have to be a dumb, stupid guy? That's not what it is. That's not what it is. Retard maxing, the layer 2, the bottom layer, is bring out your inner child. If you made it 17 minutes into the video and you just heard that, that is probably one of the biggest bombs or mic drops you'll ever have when dealing with women. I promise you, brother. Retard maxing is just remembering what it was like to be a kid. And that's it. Let me tell you a story about that. Not this last girl, the 2 girls ago that I took out on a couple of dates. She was younger, and this is actually why a lot of older men go for younger women, because younger women remember, dude, it's so cringy when I say this because it seems like just bear with me here, but like a girl in her early 20s remembers what it feels like to have fun and be a kid, right? And a lot of men, as they get older, they forget what that feels like. And that's why actually and then here's the thing, women never lose the desire for that. So have you noticed that when you hang out with a girl, the dumber and more childlike you are, the more they love you? Because they want that back too. So like when you hang out with younger girls, they bring that out of you. When you hang out with older girls, you have to bring it out of them. And when I say act like a child, it basically means that. The story that I was going to get to was like, okay, so I have to talk a bit quieter so my neighbors don't hear me, but I'll talk closer to the mic, okay? So like, we have animals here, right? In my but dude, so I can't say this out loud, but like we have animals here, right? And I like to like sneak them food and shit, right? So like, when the girl was here, I made like an adventure out of it. I was like, yo, put on this trench coat and put on this hat so nobody sees us do this. Do you know what I'm saying? And I created this, so what I did, basically, I created this like fun, childlike role play of like, we have to go do this thing together, but we can't get caught. But it's like, it's so ridiculous because like nothing, it's like, you're just feeding a couple of animals, you know what I'm saying? But like, you have to make it seem like it's like, it's something you would do if you were a kid. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you're putting the logical brain away and you are like playing a game with the girl. You're being a child. Brother, let me tell you, if you get good at this, you will crush. The reason why these dumb idiots and these retard maxers and these guys that live in the moment, the reason why they crush so much is because they can play games and have fun with women as if they're children. They're just there's no logical discussion. There's no like another great story I got was I never took this girl on dates, but a few like maybe like a year ago, we did a scavenger hunt, like a group scavenger hunt. And then when me and this girl were alone doing the scavenger hunt, I turned it into a playful adventure, like we have to find the pot of gold. And like obviously they have like mystery words and all this shit. And like you kind of like put the girl in this frame of like we're two pirates trying to hunt for treasure. Just shit like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And then like when you are having fun, it's like I am Luffy from One Piece or some shit, and you're Nanami or whatever. We got to go find the One Piece. If she's an anime chick, we got to go find the One Piece, bro. They just like they. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't know why women are like that. It's like they are truly designed opposite to us. They actually are. So like, if it were up to us as men, maybe because it's here's what it is. I think when we hit like 18, 19, or 20 years old, the reality of life kind of hits us in the face a little bit. Video games kind of bring us back to it a little bit, right? But reality hits us in the face. We're like, we have responsibilities. We got to take care of our family. I'm getting older. I have to create my own wealth. And like all the responsibilities of the world basically tell a guy that if he has any fun whatsoever like a child, he's failing. Or he's not doing enough. Or you're not allowed to do that. So over time, we kind of forget about that part of ourselves, right? Like that's why guys always buy like these monster trucks and like these motorcycles and these Corvettes and all this, like the midlife crisis. The midlife crisis is an attempt of the older man to get back his childlike nature or his childhood, right? Not in the way that women want, though. That's different. The way a woman wants you to be a child is to play games with her, tickle her feet, dance with her, things like that, like wrestle with her, crack jokes in the moment, like a great one that I, just little subtle things, right? Here's a great subtle one for you. This is actually how I got my last girl, funny enough. It was like date number 2 or 3, I can't remember now. And we were at the movie theater getting popcorn, right? Because I love popcorn, it's my favorite shit, right? So anyway, I noticed that every time I would reach for the popcorn, she would reach for it too, to like bug me, to like touch my hand and like interrupt my popcorn eating methods, right? Like, dude, this is why women are awesome, right? Anyway, after like the 3rd or 4th grab, I like get super annoyed that she keeps touching my damn hand when I'm trying to like eat this damn delicious buttery popcorn, right? So what I do is I like, the 4th time or whatever, I like shoo her hand like this. And then I start like firewalling her hand like judo chops and shit from the popcorn. That was a playful way to... She was trying to play. She was bugging me to try to play. Now, if I got mad at her, that would have been the end. If I told her to stop, that would have been the end. If I got irritated or annoyed or any kind of negative emotion whatsoever, that would have been the end. But I'm like, guys that are naturally playful, I'm naturally playful, right? So this is kind of like my forte here, the retard max. What would the retard do? That's what so always ask yourself, What would the retard do in this situation? So I like judo chop her hand away from the popcorn, and I do like karate moves and all this shit, right? And then it was like 5 minutes of us doing karate in this theater together, bothering the whole theater, but we didn't give a shit. So again, the retard doesn't care about bothering everybody in the environment to have fun for himself. And if he can pull a woman into that reality, you're in, 100%. You're in. That's what retardmaxing is. So if you struggle with this, okay, this is kind of like the crux of the whole thing. If you struggle with this, being the playful, fun child with a girl, first of all, just try and turn off your brain. Because these things that we're talking about, it's not so simple as just like, hey, yeah, thanks, Doofus, turn off your brain, ha 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 ha. It's not as simple as that. It's like, you have to actively work on those parts of your brain. It's kind of like, it's the same thing with sports. A lot of people, when they play sports can help a lot, I'll tell you. When you can play dodgeball, right? When you play sports, a lot of people have a lot of overthinking problems, especially when it's like playoffs and it actually matters. People get a lot of anxiety and they get a lot of, like, oh, should I throw the ball over here? Should I kick it over here? Should I pass it to this person? It's the exact same thing in sports, right? Every second or millisecond that you think about something is the second or millisecond the opponent has to take your ball from you or hit you. Or boxing, dude, maybe go boxing. Same thing. When you're boxing somebody, the guy who thinks more is the guy on the ground. You know what I'm saying? It's the guy who lets you get your brain, you let your body do what it wants to do by removing your thoughts from the equation. That's level 1. Maybe go join some sports, but it's basically you have to get in the zone, or they used to call it back in the day, get in state. You just get in state, and what that means is be present to the moment, and that takes training. You're not going to approach a girl if you've been logical for like the last 20 years, you're not going to know how to go up to a girl and start playing with her. Because you don't remember how from when you were a child. It's like riding a bike. You have to like do it a few times to remind yourself how to pedal. You know what I'm saying? So you try and turn off your brain. And if you can just like sit in an interaction for 30 minutes or whatever without trying to overthink, think about your responses and all that shit, that's great. Level 1 complete. Level 2, start playing with them. Think of every girl that you interact with. Think of them as like a child that wants to be played with. Like your little sister or something like. Dude, man, you got to be so careful with this advice. Holy shit! Just because some logical bros will not understand what I'm saying, and the advice could actually be really dangerous. I'm hoping that I'm small enough that I can like just like give the. Do you know what I'm saying? You want to pretend like. Dude, I don't know how to describe this. You want to play with her. Okay, this is the best way to put this. Your inner child, like your 8-year-old self, wants to play with her 8-year-old self, like spiritually. Like your child souls want to play games together. And it's your job as a man to make her feel comfortable to do that and play with her. And when she does weird shit, you have to like make her feel happy that she was weird around you. Be weird together. We'll close off the video like that. Be weird together and with her. That is what retardmaxing is. And that is the most powerful thing that you can do when attracting women, all right? If you like content like this, scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.